Samsung might be about to turn its foldable lineup from a niche experiment into a full-on ecosystem. And the biggest surprise isn't just another Galaxy Z Fold. It's that Samsung could reportedly bring out a second book-style foldable with that wider, almost tablet-like screen shape in the same year. That happens, 2027, could be the moment Samsung stops asking whether people want foldables and starts offering one for every kind of power user. Now, the reason this rumor has traction is the response to the Galaxy Z Fold 8. Samsung's first book foldable, built around a 4:3 style inner display, has apparently performed incredibly well around the world, to the point where supply has struggled to match interest. That screen ratio matters more than it might sound. Instead of opening into a tall, narrow canvas, it gives you something that feels far closer to a compact tablet. Better for documents, better for multitasking, better for watching content, and just generally more natural when you're doing more than scrolling social media. So the Galaxy Z Fold 9 itself is basically the expected part of this story. A successful Fold 8 means a follow-up was never really in question. But according to reporting from ET News, Samsung may have 5 foldable phones lined up for 2027, and 2 of those could use this wider book-style format. The Fold 9 would be one. The other is still a mystery. No product name, no confirmed position in the lineup, and no clear answer on whether it's supposed to be a more affordable option, a premium alternative, or something aimed at a completely different kind of buyer. And honestly, that unanswered question is where it gets interesting. The second wide format device only makes sense if Samsung can give it a distinct purpose. You don't launch 2 phones with nearly the same folding shape just to make a bigger catalog. One could potentially focus on making the tablet-style experience more accessible, while another might go all in on maximum specs and productivity. Or Samsung could experiment with different sizing. Again, that's the big unknown right now, but the mere fact that another wide foldable is reportedly in the plan tells us Samsung sees real momentum behind this category. The rest of the reported 2027 roster makes the company's ambitions even clearer. Alongside the 2 wide book-style models, the list includes a Galaxy Z Fold 9 Ultra, a Galaxy Z Flip 9, and a second-generation Galaxy Z Trifold. That would make 5 foldables in 1 year. Compare that with 2024, when Samsung released only 2 folding phones. That is a massive change in strategy over just a few years, and it signals a much higher level of confidence in foldables as an actual product category rather than a flashy side project. But there's one product on that list that may be the most fascinating and the most complicated: the Galaxy Z Trifold 2. The original Trifold had an extremely limited rollout. Large parts of the world never got an official chance to buy it, including all of Europe, while production remained very constrained through 2025 and 2026. So even before we talk about new hardware, there's a huge question hanging over the sequel. Will Samsung actually make it widely available this time? Right now, even the timing seems uncertain. Industry talk points to rising component prices creating pressure for ambitious phone projects, and a delay for Samsung's next double folding device appears increasingly possible. That's not hard to understand. A Trifold is not just a normal phone with 1 extra hinge. It's a device with 3 body sections, multiple moving parts, a much more demanding display setup, and very little room for mistakes. Every one of those parts costs money, and every one makes manufacturing harder. Still, the rumored upgrades sound like Samsung is attacking the most obvious weaknesses head-on. The current Galaxy Z Trifold is said to measure 12.9mm thick, and its 3 sections have differing depths. The next version could reportedly make those sections more uniform, which should reduce the overall thickness and create a much cleaner shape when it's closed. That might sound like a small visual refinement, but on a device that folds twice, thickness is everything. The few millimeters can be the difference between impressive tech demo and "I could actually carry this every day." Weight is another big target. The current model reportedly comes in at 309 grams, which is a lot for something you'd keep in your pocket. New Hinge hardware could help bring that number down, following the same general evolution we've already seen with regular foldables. Thinner hinges, lighter construction, and better mechanical design have been key to making standard folding phones feel more normal over time. Samsung now has to pull off that same trick on a device that is much more mechanically complex. Okay, so here's where it gets even wilder. Samsung's Trifold successor may not even be the company's next major experimental display product. There's a possibility that a Samsung rollable phone arrives first. It could potentially be called the Galaxy Z Slide, and if it reaches stores before arrival gets there, Samsung could deliver the first commercially available phone with a rollable OLED screen. LG once had a rollable phone project, but that device was cancelled before launch in 2021. And of course, Samsung would still need to move quickly enough to avoid Huawei beating it to the punch. A rollable phone and a trifold are two completely different answers to the same problem. How do you give people a bigger screen without making them carry a giant slab? A trifold expands through hinges. A rollable expands by extending the display itself. Both are incredibly cool. Both have obvious engineering headaches. And both show that Samsung is thinking beyond the standard phone that opens once formula. Which brings us to the feature that could make the Trifold 2 a true productivity machine: the S Pen. Rumors tied to Samsung patent filings suggest the stylus could be stored inside one of the hinges. That concept could involve magnetic holding, charging through the hinge, and sensors that detect whether the pen is properly docked. If Samsung can make that work reliably, it would be a seriously elegant solution. No loose accessory, no separate case. Just open the device, pull out the pen and start annotating documents, writing notes, sketching ideas, or editing files on a much larger canvas. For creative users and professionals, that's actually huge. A trifold already promises more room to work than a regular foldable. Add a built-in stylus, and it starts looking less like a strange phone and more like a pocketable workstation. But here's the thing though, patents show possibilities, not finished products. And integrating an S Pen into a device like this comes with real compromises. The flexible display is already one of the most delicate parts of the entire design. Samsung would need to make sure removing and returning the pen doesn't create a risk of damaging that screen. Placement is another concern. If the stylus storage affects how the unfolded display sits, operates, or feels, it could undermine the seamless tablet experience that makes a trifold appealing in the first place. There's also a brutal battle between pen support and thinness. Earlier foldables became slimmer partly by leaving out digitizers, the layer that enables proper stylus input. Bringing that capability back means adding hardware, and added hardware usually means added thickness and weight. So Samsung has to decide what matters most: the sleekest possible device or the most capable one. Ideally, it finds a way to deliver both, but that's a very tough engineering ask. So 2027 is shaping up to be Samsung's most aggressive foldable year yet, if these plans hold. 2 wide-format book foldables, an Ultra, a Flip, and a Trifold sequel could completely reshape the lineup. And somewhere beyond that, a rollable Galaxy Z Slide may be waiting in the wings. Let me know which one you'd actually buy: a wider fold, a trifold with an S Pen, or a rollable phone. And if you want more breakdowns of the tech that could define the next generation of smartphones, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.